Noel, welcome to Edinburgh. It's a wonderful pleasure for us and an honour for you to be here as a guest of the Asia Scotland Institute here within the University of Edinburgh's grounds, and in this the 100th year of the Foreign Policy Association, which you've been heading up for so long. So thank you for being here, and thank you for coming to talk to the students of the university and the followers of the Institute who will be joining us shortly.
Thank you, Roddy, for having me.
Good, thank you. Our mission is to educate and inform and inspire the future leaders of Scotland, many of whom are at the universities of Scotland, and to better engage with Asia. And I wonder if you just sort of comment on whether you feel that's a good mission to have, and whether for young people or younger people focusing on Asia is important.
I think that's a very timely mission, and one that reflects the realities on the ground. There's no question that Asia is playing increasingly a very important role on the global level,
Yep.
and clearly economically Asia is going to be possibly the locomotive in the global economy.
As it has been, I suppose, in the past. If we think of 200 years ago, the Chinese and Indian economies were the biggest in the world, were they not?
No question about it, and I think that for many this feels like a return to where things should be.
Exactly. I wonder if you could give me an idea of the topics you're going to focus on when you speak later on today, just to signpost us as to the direction you're going to be going.
Well, at the Foreign Policy Association, we are very concerned about conflict prevention. It was the raison d'etre when we were founded in 1918 on Armistice Day.
Yeah.
And we continue to believe that more can be done to prevent deadly conflict. And one of the seminal studies that really has not received the attention it deserves was completed by David Hamburg, the former president of the Carnegie Corporation of New York, and former U.S. Secretary of State Cyrus Vance. And that study looked at the causes of conflict. Actually, they commissioned 300 separate studies. And what I'm hoping to talk about are some of the lessons that have been distilled from this research.
I imagine that one of the key things, thinking of my sort of military days in the past, is communicating, for people to be in a dialogue, communicating with each other. And in the current environment of what are referred to as trade wars, that communication is more difficult and more tense. Would you agree with that?
Completely. I think that really to make headway in terms of a more peaceful world, we need communication and we need cooperation. And they go hand in hand.
Yeah. There's been criticism by the current US administration of some of the structures which we in Europe might say have preserved peace. The European Community on the one hand perhaps, but NATO certainly, and to a certain extent the United Nations for all its inefficiencies. The implication seems to be that some of these sort of post-Bretton Woods institutions have passed their sell-by date. Is that your view?
No, it is not. I think that the European project, as I like to call it, is truly one of the most important ongoing developments in international relations and has kept the peace in Europe all these years. And the United Nations has many faults, but if you ask the counterfactual, what would the world look like without the United Nations, we would feel that there would be a significant hole.
Yeah. We've known each other for a number of years, and I'm lucky enough to have been to a number of Foreign Policy Association conferences and meetings. Do you end up as an optimist in this world, or where do you come out on that?
Well, that's a good question. I think by nature I'm an optimist, and I do feel that education is the answer, education for peace,
Yes.
Pro-social education, and that should occur from a young age. And I believe that with the right approach, we can avoid war and conflict in the future.
Well, we hope so, and I'm an optimist too, and I know that you're going to get some very interesting questions, and I'm sure some enthusiastic answers from the group that's going to be joining us shortly. So, Noel, again, thank you for coming all the way here, and we look forward very much to hearing what you have to say.
My pleasure.
And congratulations on your 100th birthday,
Thank you very much.
corporately or institutionally. Thanks very much.